everybody. Welcome to the Starseeds and Lightworkers Collective. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Starseeds and Lightworkers Collective. My name is Crystal, and we have a great show for you tonight. And we are welcoming back our beautiful friend, Rogue Yogi, Silver. And she is here to talk with us and to share her insights in some of the questions that you have. I know that some of you, and it's not even so much about 2026, but just in general, sometimes we have questions and we want to just sort of get a different perspective. And especially for those of us who are going through certain kind of challenges. And right now, there's a lot, as you know, there's a lot going on the planet. And even though it's affecting the planet, it's also affecting us personally. I don't know if it's just me, but I've been so hungry lately. And I've been feeling so weird and energized, but tired at the same time. So I don't know if that's a Schumann resonance or if there's just other stuff going on energetically. But we welcome back Rogue Yogi. Silver, and she is a born clairvoyant, and she was here I think last year in the I think she came here last year in the spring, and I think you came, was it the spring you came with us the first time around?
I think there's a couple times.
Yeah, it's a couple of times.
We did a couple times.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I would really recommend that if you have a chance to go see our first video. I think it was the spring of last year. And Rogue Yogi goes into her past. I mean, maybe we can just have a little quick sort of run down of what she grew up with and how her life has shaped up. But at the same time, if you watch the video, you can have a really full understanding of her life and her experiences and what she's been through. And I think that you get a lot of insight from what she has to say from her life and all that. So, but tonight we're going to be asking questions, and some people have sent in questions to Silver, and she will be answering them with the help of their guides, her guides, and everybody else in between. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you Rogue Yogi. Hi, Silver. How are you
Hi,
doing?
everybody. I'm happy to be back again.
Yeah,
This is like my home away from home.
exactly.
Like, I mean, at this point, when it was just a little bit before I walked by my meditation room and my guides were like, stop. And they told me to go in, which they have not done before for us. And um, they told me to pick up these 3 different decks. And I've gone through the questions I've already received, and I have a sense of what's going on. But if anyone is listening and they do have a question, how would we handle that,
Well,
Crystal?
we can, people can leave their questions in the chat. Obviously, you're not going to ask super personal questions. But at the same time, we are also going to be opening up the phone lines a little bit later. So if anybody wants to call in after 9 o'clock, we can. So I think we're going to start with you answering certain questions. We're going to have a sort of a quick meet and greet for people who are not familiar with you. And then after
Sure.
that, we'll start answering some questions. And then around 9 o'clock, we'll open the phone lines and people can call in. And if they want to ask a question that way, obviously, if they don't have their photo, it's going to be
Right.
different. But like if they just sort of have a question, maybe we could sort of try and do it that way. So for those of you who not,
A photo is always preferred, because that is my main
okay,
avenue, but we'll do it, whatever it
okay,
is.
that's great. And you have access to your email right now, right? Would you be able to sort of
Right.
get questions so they can send a question if they want to do, like they're just only joining us now, and they want to ask
Yep.
a question, they can send their question and their photo,
To
headshot,
info at
info.
rogueyogi.com.
Exactly. So info at rogueyogi.com. You can send in your photo and your question and
Okay.
say what city you're from and your first name. And this will give her an ability to sort of locate you to where you are and be able to sort of pick up the energies and answer your question with the help of the guides. All right. So Yogi, tell us a little bit more about yourself for people who are just joining us now. We have a lot of new members, and I want to say hi to all our new members. And I want to say as well, like and subscribe to our YouTube page, but also check out our newsletter. We've published our second version of our newsletter, and we're going to be publishing it again on the 15th. So we're going to be approaching about twice a month. So if you haven't signed up now to newsletter, sign up, and you can pick up all our latest activities that are happening. But Rogue Yogi, tell us a little bit more about yourself for people who are joining us for the first time.
Sure. And you guys can all call me Silver.
Silver, okay.
I was born clairvoyant. I'm honestly not sure what else has been with me since birth because clairvoyance is so obvious. Uh, and I had a really tough time growing up. I was really dismissed. I had no siblings, so my authorities were my parents and our very religious priest. And it was a very rigid box in which I was raised. And I was like an exploding squiggle, and no one knew what to do with me. And I would say that I was told this is not true. The things you're seeing and experiencing are not true, and was told never to speak of them,
Okay, wow.
which I internalized as I am innately unlovable. When you're a child, we're really at the mercy of the contrast that we have selected as our higher selves for this lifetime. And so that was the path I selected, and it has been a very long journey of camouflaging myself and never being my true self until I died at 40. I had a near death experience. I merged with, that prime consciousness, and I could see my entire life, the very same life, in the way that prime consciousness could see it. And I made a promise because I was asked directly. So I was like, okay, um, that prime consciousness asked, will you return and live transparently, which was my worst fear come true because I knew where I live, the kinds of people I socialize with, and I was taking all of that to the grave just for a mere chance of being accepted by someone. So I promised that I would. And then I said, but you need to show me every step of the way because this is going to create a fire sale. And it did. I came out. I shared all of not all of my experiences, but a lot of them.
Yeah.
And a lot of them I still don't understand the mechanics of. I can describe them, but I don't have some extra brain to explain how, some of these things have happened. But it's been a journey from like terrified and unlovable to working on self-trust, self-acceptance, and knowing that all of my multidimensional communications, which will go beyond clairvoyance, they are a gift to help my brothers and sisters. And that's a huge reference shift, which I'm really grateful for. And that's kind of my nutshell. I have experience with, I would say, pretty much everything you might be thinking of, different races of extraterrestrials, different kinds of angels, prime consciousness, ascended masters, um, ships, different kinds of ships with different intentions. Um, a lot of astral travel work. That's all very lucid. It's interesting because all of this stuff is so much more vivid and detailed in my memory than like yesterday, which to me just kind of further proves that when we say something like, oh, clairvoyance or clairaudience or claircognizance, to me, it it represents somebody who is opening to capital T truth. Because this right here is fleeting. It's fleeting. We've come down for like a flash in a pan to, on this planet, explore some emotional themes, and then we're back to reality again. And that's how I see all of the multidimensional awareness. It's like these experiences of what's actually real.
That's really interesting. And a couple of things, and um, that you're saying here about how it's a flash in the pan, and it's true. And I think that people are starting to become aware of that, because I know that a lot of people are very, very attached to their body. They're very attached to the life here on this in this plane of existence. And it's also though because we have been we can unpack this in so many ways, but there's a lot going on in terms of how we've been manipulated in this reality to believe that this is only what we have and nothing else. And it's only through the work of people like yourself who have shown the way and who have opened the door that we're getting a very, very different vision of what life is, you know? And so a lot of the work that you're doing and a lot of the work that other people are doing is so important because we are going to be shifting and we need to be able to understand, you know, a lot of what's going on. But you made an interesting comment that I found interesting. You said here that when you had your near death experience, you merged with prime consciousness and that your life looked very different than, let's say, what you would see here with your two eyes. Can you explain what that is? Like, so here we are, we're in 3D, we're sitting in front of a computer or TV, whatever you have or your phone, and you're watching this video, and there you go. And so it's a very, very sort of clear cut, like, very, very simple perspective. When you merged with prime consciousness and you saw your life, like, are you looking at it with your eyes? Like, what's happening there, and how does it look? And I think by what I'm saying, how does it look in terms of like, did you see like, oh, this is what I chose, or oh, this doesn't look as bad, or this is look how does it look from the other side of the veil?
The perception shift was to one of, oh my gosh, I have literally been humiliated, ashamed, and self-loathing all my life. Look at all of these rock bottoms I've hit. How many dark nights of the soul does one person need? What is wrong with me? To a complete 180 where, and I remember the first time I consciously had a conversation with my higher self, she explained it best. And she said, you are meant to be. And the image was a glassy, smooth, glassy black, deep, deep mountain lake. And she said, you're not meant to keep running. And that was where I was getting into so much trouble because all my Rolodex of, absurd and humiliating and terrifying experiences I'm meant to hold. There's a Native American proverb where a particular spirit hovers over the dying warriors on the battlefield, and he will hover over them and present with identical wounds. So that the dying warrior sees this and knows he's not alone. And I could see how, all of this, rejection and humiliation, all of that, it was all meant to be inside, held calmly for the benefit of whomever I work with, so that whomever comes to me, I can dip into that lake and I can relate to them, not just parrot some book. And most importantly, I can then offer what I did, what worked for me to move through it. Before, I really just was stuck in self-pity and a victim mentality, like no one should have to go through this. What is this? And then I saw it.
But it's interesting because the reason why I find it's so what you're experiencing and what you're saying resonates is because so many people, unfortunately, go through all that self-loathing and go through all that dark night of the soul and go through all that, and I'm not sort of trying to criticize the prime consciousness so much, but I almost get the impression that it's kind of like saying, you have Marie Antoinette who said, "Let them eat cake." Like she didn't have any clue, of what
He
people
had no
are.
empathy.
She had no empathy, but
No.
I'm going to cut her some slack. She had no clue that people out there were starving. Like, I mean, someone like Marie Antoinette or, the French court, whatever, it doesn't matter. But as an
Mhm.
example, are surrounded, they're sheltered and have no clue and have no idea. And it's also the same story of the Buddha. The Buddha, when he was growing up, he had everything and it was beautiful, and his father made sure that everything was beautiful and nice. And then at one point, there was a festival, and there's this poor old man that's coming and begging for food, and the Buddha says, "What is this?" Like, I mean, why is this man
Right.
so old looking, and why is he
Right.
in suffering, and blah, blah, blah. And I just sort of think to myself, they're putting you and a lot of people, because a lot of people who, especially people who are presenting on the show, have gone through these horrible experiences to come out the other side much more healed and much more spiritually evolved. But it almost seems as if the consciousness doesn't understand the amount of suffering and the amount of self-loathing. You wouldn't self-loathe if you didn't have to. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't have you, until you had that experience, you didn't know that there was nothing wrong with you, that you're special, and that you're a fraction of light, and you're part of the prime directive. We're all made in the image of God. But until you've gone to the other side and come back, you don't know that. So, like, I mean, what is it
Right.
that the prime consciousness doesn't seem to get, that in this
That's so funny.
matrix,
Yes.
that cut us some slack? I don't know.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. I actually was yesterday. I was channeling with the prime consciousness, and it's really interesting you ask this, because literally I have it in my voice memo from yesterday. He said, it's not as unheard of as people think that, we, or whatever council or quorum or, federation, he's like, it's not so unheard of that we give you the answers you so desperately want. But many of the people in the spiritual community, and this is not a blanket statement, but he said many people are more focused on the bells and the whistles, the exciting things. I want to see an angel, or I want to hear my grandmother outside of my own head. And the real spirituality, it kind of reminds me of that quote where it's like, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. And so with practice, honestly, most people, it takes practice. You can tune in to the layers, the less sparkly, shiny object layers, and get the nitty gritty, like, health information. And I mean, I very bluntly was like, I need to know if my life is going to stay as it has been for the last 15 years or not. And I got my answer. The other thing I want to put out there is that before we incarnate, there's like a group huddle, like a football team. And that football team, consider it whatever you want to call it, your soul family. And this is for Earth. It's different for every other dimension and planet, but for Earth, it's very much a group huddle and a casting of a play where each member of the soul family, they announce, like, these are the themes I intend on exploring and growing along those lines. So everyone has, their primary emotional exploration and learning they want to do. And then we cast the play, including the major points that need to happen for us to be able to experience that contrast we want to experience. And with me, for example, there is 1,000 ways people may not pull through in the way they're wanting to. And an example would be, I got sober in the year 2000. I mean, not on my first try, but I drank because I felt normal. I like, whatever that was, it it poisoned my system enough to kind of
Blunted
just
out
cut
almost.
me off. I mean,
Yeah.
you're never cut off, but it
No.
blunted
Yeah.
everything. If I had not gotten sober, we wouldn't be talking. People who have given themselves like an AP level Earth curriculum, many of them don't make it to that breakthrough point because we've given ourselves such deep contrast points. It's really very common for, somebody's entire play not to go all the way through. And so that's why, and this is all from my own meditation. I'm not telling facts. This is just what I've been shown and told. We also have several exit points where it's built into the timeline that we can exit if we're like, it's too much. Obviously, an NDE is a very clear potential exit point, but I've had at least one other exit point where I absolutely knew, because after my NDE, and then in 2020, I almost died again.
Okay.
And at the time, I was like, I can't live like this anymore. And it was really like, and I handled it with my higher self and prime consciousness, but I know that was an exit ramp.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's really really fascinating, and I'm so glad that you're sharing that information with us. Before we go to answering questions, I just have some comments here in the chat that I wanted to read to you. So
Okay,
there's some really good
great.
stuff happening here. So I have
Oh,
a
cool.
question here from Kelly Wacker. Hi, Kelly.
Oh, hi, Kelly.
Kelly. And she says, Silver, have you ever been able to have an out of body experience where you have escaped outside the matrix? I have been in a dark void where I felt so much love and up in the cosmos or in space. Did you want to take a crack at that one?
Oh yeah, you went to the my first stop in my NDE. I call it I don't call it the void because that sounds so scary, but it's the feminine. It's the divine feminine of that prime consciousness. It's the womb. Um, you felt so much love there because it is the cradle of receptivity for the masculine element of that prime consciousness. It's almost like the never ending blank canvas that prime consciousness continues to push out and manifest into. And every time we leave our bodies, we are out of the matrix and far more, if not completely, in reality. We are being guided. I've had the most amazing guided astral travels where my guides have tried to show me this is your home, this is your higher self, this is where you come from with these symbolic images. Um, they've shown me totems. And Kelly, this is one for you because you'll like this. The other best time to live an experience in reality is dream time.
Okay.
And again, this might take some practice, and it also straight up requires you to type in your notes on your phone before you set foot on the ground, because by the time you're sitting on the toilet to pee, you will have missed about 30% of the details.
Okay.
But when I go to bed and something's weighing on me, or I'm just curious, or I want an affirmation like one from one of my past pets, or I want to visit, a certain um, planet, you know, I put that intention or that question, I put that to my higher self and that prime consciousness, and I ask for it to be answered in my dream. And I always say, if there's a chance I'm not going to remember, please, I give you permission, wake me up immediately after.
Okay.
And it really works.
Okay.
It may take time
Mm-hmm.
for you to kind of bridge that gap. If you're someone who, say, doesn't remember your dreams,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of means you really need to bridge that kind of gap in frequency, like meditation every day would really help someone who might say they have a hard time remembering their dreams. But when you get to that point, it really is like your personal divine answer.
Yeah.
No one's trying to be cagey
Mm-hmm.
with us. It just feels that way because one, divine timing is so maddeningly slow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, have you ever said like, "Whoa, God, slow this down"? It's like, no. We're always like, "Oh my God, can something?"
Yeah.
Um, and then we're also just hectic. And if our scales of, ether versus earth, if the earth scale is like sitting on the bottom, and it's really off balance, that affects the entire uh like volume of what we can get.
Okay.
Like we've always got to keep really aware of,
Mm-hmm.
is my 3D existence, has it kind of taken over, maybe because something happened? And we've got to keep that balanced as best we can, and that also helps with having those communications and being like, hey, I want to be taken tonight, I want to be guided on an astral travel
Mm-hmm.
to the planet I've loved the most, or whatever it is.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. And that's very, very, that really resonates. Thank you for that. Moving right along, we have a comment here from Susan Johnson, and I think this relates to the fact that I was asking you about how come, we get all this pain and all that.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. And Susan says exactly the main reason why someone suffers pain and suffering is to be able to identify the same pain in others, so as to be able to help them and heal from it. Also, to show them how to prevail. And I think that really says something a lot. What do you think? I think that really, you know.
What I know for sure, I talked to my friend who's, I have, my best friend is like me. Well, but not born that way, but has ended up this way. And everybody from Eckhart Tolle to Ram Dass, I, you, no one of any great spiritual impact. Eckhart Tolle was so excited to move into this new apartment building with scaffolding all around it in kindergarten, he and his mom, because in kindergarten, and this, I relate to this so much, he was like, look at all these perfect, like, scaffolding things that he could hang himself on. And that is a pattern. I mean, I've read so much about so many of the people, we look up to. None of them have had an easy go, because if you think about it, what would they be able to offer the suffering that wasn't complete fluff? In order to really identify with someone and
Exactly.
offer them depth and weight,
Exactly.
you have to have this.
Yeah. But that's why I said, for example, with the Marie Antoinette, I mean, I understand she was sheltered, but I mean, she had nothing to offer because she just did not have. I mean, I told a lot, but at the end, she had a lot more to offer. But like, I mean, it's just that there are a lot of people, like you're saying, who don't really have the depth, and
Or
go
they
through
don't
life.
survive it. They
Oh,
don't survive it,
exactly. They won't survive it
like,
at all. And I have an interesting one, an interesting comment here that I myself went through, and I resonate with
oh,
this from. We have a member here, Mermiris, I think if I'm pronouncing it right. He says, or she says, I have always attracted bullies. I keep working on my way of responding to these people and situations. And I totally get that because my whole childhood was just bullies one after the other, and I'm not gonna lie, it really it shapes you. And even at this age, I still sort of have, like, maybe not the complete PTSD like I did growing, in my 20s and 30s, but all that really does give you perspective. Did you want to sort of comment on that whole idea about bullies and why we attract bullies and people that sort of, or the abusive husband or all that kind of stuff,
oh my God.
or the
Yeah.
abusive.
Well, first of all, yes, 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 yes,
Yeah.
yes. Uh, I mean, I ended up marrying a diagnosed psychopath.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like unbelievable. I've ended up in a cult. I've had to work with the FBI on another cult. Like, it's like, I wish you would go to my YouTube channel I have so many videos about the dynamics of empaths, and we have an excess of heart abundance. We naturally attract those people who have a lack of it. I am still learning when and how to set boundaries. I was so intent on being a good person, I would allow myself to be physically, emotionally, psychologically abused. And I thought that was being a good person. Don't argue back. No, that's self-betrayal. I had to go through a huge stage, especially after my divorce, of differentiating martyrdom from sovereignty.
Okay.
There's a natural magnetism there, and there always will be. But that's actually a compliment to you. You're emitting an abundance of safety and love and acceptance. And the wolves are going to smell that. They're going to want that, and they're going to manipulate to get it. But it can all end with boundaries.
Yeah. 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 No, that makes that resonates 1000%, and me too. I go into that same thing, and also like you said, especially if you're an empath, you feel everybody's sort of like need and all that kind of stuff, and you just naturally give until you sort of tire yourself out. And you know, and you made a point. You said, well, I shouldn't have to argue back and everything, and I don't. And I'm going to explain to you why. Because what I've done is that I've raised my boundaries, and I'm also kind of the type of person where I realize that if I go into it, and if I get into that whole game, they're going to want to start, and the ego gets in and all that kind of stuff, and I just don't have time for that. And so I raise my boundaries, and I just sit back and say, let them tire themselves out, let them expend all that energy, all the gas and the fluff, and then I'll be like, okay, fine, and I move on. I'm not here to teach you. I mean, I'm here to teach you in a sense that, but in a sense that if you want to learn, because there are some people who don't want to learn, they just want to push their agenda, they want to push their ego first, and that's fine. And I'm not here to judge, but I see that if you're not willing to learn, it's not my place to force you either. So if you come to me with like, gee, I really don't know why this thing's kind of happening and help me out, no problem, I'm an open book. But if somebody's just sort of coming in with their ego and their agenda, and even if you try to talk to them, the walls are right up because, well, it's just all about me, it's the me show, then it's just sort of like, you know what, I just don't waste my time, I keep my energy to myself. You know what I mean?
Yes, like to me, I no longer sit and absorb people's negative
Yeah.
energy. I just did a short on YouTube today that explained, you know, and this again is like a quick boundary that I have with my husband, where it's like this ex-husband, sorry. The moment screaming begins, it doesn't bother me anymore, but it used to scare me to death. But I say, I totally want to talk about this, but not when you're screaming. So let's talk about it later. I'm going to hang up now. And then I hang up. It's not, it, it does me no good. I'm not a better person for absorbing someone else's toxicity or negativity or anything like that. That doesn't make me a good person. It makes me betray myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a hard dynamic. I'm not trying to oversimplify it.
No,
It's
no.
also really scary to start shifting your actions.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, because we're also afraid of what, oh, if I change and the other person's not going to recognize me, or they're going to criticize, and stuff is going to happen. And like, and that's
With
one of the things that
bullies.
we bullies. But there's also the one thing where I realize that I have to stop pleasing people. I have to stop doing things. So, well, if I do it this way, they're not going to like me, or they're going to complain. And I have to say, you know what, that's just too bad. I'm sorry. And not caring about what other people think. And I think once I started to get over that dynamic, I started to find a bit more peace, because I was no longer trying to sort of bend myself into a pretzel to say, well, oh, well, she doesn't like it, and so she's not going to talk to me, and whatever. And I just sort of let it go. And now she's talking to me again. There's a girl in my office who was acting up, and I realized also that I was also creating certain dynamics in my head that were not really there, but I was manifesting this concept of like, oh, well, she doesn't like me, she doesn't this, that, the other, and why should I care? You know. Anyways,
Yeah,
so I wanted to know, can you tell us your website again? And then we can go on to questions. I think you have some questions that you want to
sure.
answer to people. So, what is your website again, so people can take a look at some of the work that you're doing?
My website does not really show what I do. It's so rudimentary. It's Rogue, Rogue, Yogi, which is YOGI.com. But my YouTube channel,
Yeah.
which is Rogue Yogi Official, I have a couple hundred videos up, and they are split between the metaphysical and like what we're talking about, emotional mastery, boundaries,
Okay.
empaths. Like that's the library of my work.
Okay.
Uh, that's most helpful.
Okay, that's great. That's excellent. And so, while if you want to get your I don't know, the questions ready, or however you want to do that, I just have one last comment from Murmuris. I'm an empath for sure. I recently came under attack by a deputy director of the library system I work for. I have had boundaries. I've had to raise boundaries to keep myself from wanting to heal and fix people. I totally get that, because me too. You want to go out and heal, and you're like kind of like, but don't they see I'm trying to help them? And it's like, no. You know what I mean?
Totally. I mean, it is a reflex, but now I can stop myself and say, has this person acknowledged this even to themselves? And did they ask for help? Those are the
Yeah.
questions I ask. And then it's like, it's usually the answer is no.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, so did we want to start with our questions? How did you want to do it? Yeah. Okay, sure. So I'll let you take it away.
Okay. So I'm going in order of the ones I got first.
Okay.
And Jessica, Tinjaka. I'm sorry, not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. I do first want to tell you, like the first thing that just smacked me in the face when I looked at your picture, I was like, okay, you have angelic, spiritual DNA. Like you are angelic in origin. I think you are a mix, but angel is a majority. And people who incarnate, I mean, we've all heard the term earth angel, but just like with many people with labels like light workers or seekers or whatever it is, um, purposely have chosen to give themselves a life of great suffering in order to ground them and to spur them to look within for the resources instead of blaming someone else or depending on someone else to fix whatever's making you suffer. This might be a change of view for you, but one of my guides who's passed, Wayne Dyer, I'm not related to him, though he did have 8 daughters, all with names that started with S. So, he would say, like, oh gosh, wait, I just lost my train of thought.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know what Wayne Dyer thinks of the other side, because I know he's always talking about it. And then when he finally passed, I wonder if he is what he expected it. But anyways, I don't want to sort of get in the way of the
But yeah,
question.
I love him.
Yeah.
Okay, he shows up like on a plastic lounge chair with like black socks pulled up and like flip-flops and a Hawaiian shirt and like a big gulp and sunglasses. Like and like when I'm going through something crazy, he'll just show up like that, like just watching the show. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
okay, because he's always told me, and I have the stickers up everywhere. He told me to put these stickers up. RAE, relax, allow, enjoy. And he was very rooted in the Tao. He was very much into a symbol of water being so fluid and flexible, yet literally can carve through a mountain. And your suffering is not punitive. It is, this is him talking now. He's like,
Yeah.
it is the curriculum that you, as your higher self, in that form, completely in reality, opted for this earth incarnation.
Wow. Right?
And he's telling me to tell you,
Mm-hmm.
and again, with angelic beings, it's a given.
Mm-hmm.
It's a given. I can look and like I can tell, and I'm like, well, I already know they've had a hell of a life. But he's saying no one, that's kind of funny. Okay, no one knows enough to be a pessimist. So if you can in any way distance yourself from the suffering and more like observe it, like you're not the suffering, you're the sky and you're observing a thunderstorm, but that thunderstorm is not you. And that thunderstorm or thunderstorms probably is like the backbone, most important educational tool that was divinely selected and architected into your blueprint. And one of his biggest things that completely changed my view on forgiveness. Thank God. Like I will forever be indebted to him. But he would say, your greatest, enemy, or whatever you want to call it, like bow to them because they are your greatest teacher.
Mm.
And that is how it took 4 years, but that is how I was able to forgive my former husband.
Yeah. And for Angelica, in terms of her question, would you? That's what you're referring to in terms of like. I don't know if you wanted to read her question.
Jessica. That was Jessica's
Jessica.
question.
Jessica. Okay.
Oh, because she had asked, I'm sorry, I forgot to read this.
Yeah.
Why does all this keep happening? Do I deserve the sufferings I received all my life? And it's like, no, 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 no. Absolutely not. It's for you. Like everything that happens is for us. It doesn't happen to us. It truly is for us.
Okay. And for her moving forward though, like for her, like I don't
Mm,
know, I haven't read the question, and you know if
That's
she's
the
having,
question.
yeah, okay, so the question, but if she's for example having suffering at work or with a partner or with family and all that kind of stuff, what is the greatest what tool can she use to sort of tone that down and to sort of get through that, because she's obviously suffering a lot. What would you recommend in terms of like as a panacea for that?
So Wayne Dyer is, by the way, if you want to work with Wayne Dyer, like you guys are a really good fit, or he wouldn't be popping up like this,
Okay.
but he's saying like, if you can commit to this new way of thinking about forgiveness, you'll be able to drop a lot of the weight you're carrying if you can apply this new way of looking at forgiveness to several of the people in your life. And it will very much lighten your load. And it will also speed up the forgiveness process in the future, because we're all fallible and usually things don't happen in isolation. But he's saying there is a lot of relief for her to be found in the forgiveness of several people of her life, in her life.
Okay. Okay, that's great. Wow. And I think we can all sort of, learn to forgive as well, because sometimes I found that when I always used to have the same thoughts of people who used to treat me poorly in my life. And I remember at one point, I'm tired of being on this merry-go-round. I'm tired of the thoughts always coming up and thinking me instead of me thinking them. And I remember saying, okay, fine, fine. I forgive everybody. I forgive, let alone names of people. I forgive you. I'm done. I don't hold any kind of grudges or whatever. And I have to admit that some of those thoughts actually started to disappear because I let it go. I didn't hang on to it. You know what I mean?
I also want to put a word in. This is never, ever necessary, because, like, even I don't know anything about the Bible. Like, my experience with religion has been very difficult. But I did find this one quote that I wave like a banner. And there is a quote in which the archangels call themselves, are, meaning humans, brethren. The hierarchy that is like so pushed, just even like from, I mean, how dare I think that that prime consciousness and I directly can interact and have life-saving conversations without a middleman. Like, I am made of God.
Yeah.
You are made of God. And when Wayne Dyer like would always say, like, he would ask kids in the audience, he would say, if I took an orange and I squeezed it, would apple juice come out? And the kids would be like, no. And he'd go, well, what would come out? And they'd be like, orange juice. Like, it's like there's just so much labeling and org charting and hierarchy, and it's meaningless. It's meaningless.
Okay.
And that said, this was my point. I have also been snot crying and begging, screaming, praying, like begging, praying, screaming, snotting. Like, even though I know that's unnecessary, we are human.
Yeah.
Like, do what you got to do. Do your ugly praying where you're like screaming and snotting. It doesn't matter. Just make sure you ask spirit in. That's the biggest thing. Because God showed me with my near-death experience, my second one, I was being like a pinball, like a tight, metallic, impenetrable pinball. And then weirdly, this came from Whitney Houston. She was like, wiffle ball. You need to be a wiffle ball. So that, yes, you're on a trajectory, but you are like fully and wholly accessible to spirit.
Okay, got it. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense because they can mean you shouldn't stop having to go in the direction you're going in. So like the ball is going in a particular direction, but allow a certain amount of presence and understanding and if you want to call it blessings or whatever, but teachings to go through. That makes a lot of sense, and I like that concept. That's
Yeah,
perfect. Yeah. So
I like it too.
yeah, and so what's our next question for the evening?
Okay, the next question is from, I'm just going to say the first names,
Okay.
Sue.
Okay.
And she said, oh, wait. Okay, I think it's pronounced Sue. Okay.
Okay.
Um, I want to know what direction should I focus on for my highest good? And I already knew what I was going to do for her. So I'm going to do it now. But what I did want to tell you, Sue, is same thing. When I saw you, I was like, oh, you have, and just so you know, like every master on earth has fully embodied what we call the masculine and feminine. So please don't take this the wrong way. But you do have a strong male galactic strength to your makeup, which is awesome. And you have a really strong connection to your star families. And like, if you I mean, they're all out there for you to get to know, with spirit, or with embodied beings who may not be on this planet. The relationship building is just the same as it is with other humans. It's like quality time spent.
Okay.
There's nothing more elusive than that,
Okay.
Our thoughts immediately manifest in reality with no passage of time. So just to think of someone, that being is with you.
And
I just want to let you know.
when you say that with Sue,
Mm.
and Sue is in the U.S. or Sue? Just to make sure we know
Um,
which Sue we're talking about. Is that Sue in?
oh, Lake Zurich, Lucky.
Oh.
I mean, wait, is that like, I don't know if maybe Lake Zurich is in America. I,
Okay.
but,
But at least they know what like Lake Zurich is, because it helps to identify. So if they sent in the question, they
oh,
would know.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's Sue. So Sue, that's interesting. And would you say that Sue has a strong connection to masculine energy because of a past life? Or is it because this is how it turned out in life that they're in now? Because I know sometimes people have a certain more masculine or more feminine depending on the past life they had. Like if they were a soldier in a past life, they'll have a lot more masculinity, and even if they're born as a woman in this life, you know what I mean?
Um, my God, I just pulled the most amazing card. Okay. No, like, so everything that's influencing our life now in this time space, and this specifically includes other expressions, other lifetimes of ours, going on. For this trip, I preloaded my soul star chakra. This is the eighth chakra. It's like a divine satellite or a time released divine vitamin. The past lives, I mean, they're not past. Our other expressions that we determined to be the most helpful for this lifetime are the ones that emerge. And they emerge in the order they do for their reason, and in their order and in their time. Like when certain things happen, the soul star will like drop a packet of information down the back and through the heart chakra. And so we can know. And it's not as simplistic as your last past life, because it's all actually like a flat spiral.
Okay.
It really isn't past.
Okay.
It's just other expressions of you elsewhere,
Okay.
in what, like on Earth, it might seem like in linear time in the past or whatever, but we are influenced the most by what we put into our soul star, because we're like, I'm gonna need this experience the most for this trip.
Okay.
And I wanted, so I knew I was gonna draw a card for her.
Okay.
And I use like an Egyptian astrology archetype deck, and out of 72 cards, there are only 21 that are actually archetypes. And so she asked, like, what direction? And this is so funny because I heard the answer and I was like, okay, I'll keep that in mind, but let me just see if there's like a flavor to that answer when I pulled the card. And I heard like your passion, your curiosity, like stop, drop, roll, follow that. And I was like, okay, cool. Let me just see, because I want to pull a card and get a little more specific. And this is one of my favorite cards of the entire deck. For her, I pulled the Sun.
Can you pull it back just a bit so we can see it just a bit? Keep pulling. Yeah, just yeah. Okay. A little bit further up, maybe. Just because I want her to be able to see it. And if you, okay. I think that, okay. I think we have it now.
Is that good?
Yeah. Okay.
So as you can see, this is like the most visually, this is like joy. This card is a sun bursting with rainbows and cherubs. So, and the important thing to note here, everyone needs to pay their mortgage or their rent. That's not what we're talking about. For you to feel fulfilled and like your pilot light is on again and blazing, you are meant to not um, gloss over something that you find extremely interesting, whether it becomes a hobby or it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, I've taken so many different classes and different modalities, and like I never pay to go get a certification because I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious about it and I want to learn. And you know what I'm saying? It's like you have room if you make it, if you carve it out. And that's divine selfishness, to carve out that room in your calendar, to leave time for you to fan the flames of whatever you're attracted to. It could be rock climbing, it could be learning to speak Italian, whatever it is, it's very important. And it is your responsibility. And they're reminding me to emphasize this is not selfish. To create the time needed for you to feel like you are fulfilled with things that bring you joy.
Okay, wow. That is absolutely stunning. And I just wanted to, I saw a message in the chat here from Elementary, my dear Watson. He says, I tried to send an email, but it came back undeliverable. Elementary, send it to info@rogueyogi.com. You should be able to get through. I'm not sure what happened there, but try it again. If you don't get through, maybe if you can put the question in the chat. We can ask a question on your behalf, but give that a try and we'll try to get your question answered. So I think here, I just have one quick comment here from our member saying, Path of One Journey, greetings. During surgery, I briefly lost consciousness, but experienced a long, clear conversation and was told that I had to go back and that there was work to do. If this is not a near-death experience, what is this? But I think that is a near-death experience, no?
You said that he was
He was in surgery,
in
and
surgery.
I mean, obviously with surgery, you're knocked out. And he says here, or she says, that I had a long conversation and I was told that I had to go back because there was work to do. And I think this person is wondering if this is a near-death experience, or if maybe you can pick up that maybe it was something else. I don't know. I think maybe that's what they're trying to get at.
Well, I mean, it's either a near-death experience or an exit ramp.
Oh,
And it doesn't really matter which it is. I mean, the hallmark of spiritually significant events like that is like the first thing prime consciousness asked me was, do you want to stay here with me or do you want to go back?
okay.
That question is that question, or sometimes there's not a question and it's just like, you got to go back. But that's like a hallmark of near-death experiences.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I've heard of too. Because sometimes people say, can I stay because it's so beautiful and it's nice, and they say,
Exactly.
yeah, I know, but you have to go back because you did agree to come and to do a certain amount of work. So yeah, that does sound like a near death experience. I do have an interesting comment here. And not sure what to make of this. This is from Sue 111111, I think. It says here, after a piece of a gray thing in my brain was removed by a healer, I remember my dreams every day, but it only lasted for a week. What is that gray thing, and why? What is it? Thank you.
He was an energy healer.
Well, basically, the person was saying that they went to see, I think it says here, a piece of gray thing was removed from her brain by healers.
Mhm.
And so some healers removed some sort of gray matter, or I mean, not
Right.
gray matter,
So it's
but
like psychic surgery
a kind of
almost.
thing,
Like,
yeah. And that as a result, that person was able to, well, Sue was able to remember her dreams, but it only lasted about a week. And she wants to know, what is this gray thing that was removed? Was it some sort of, like, I don't know, implant or attachment, that kind of thing? I don't know.
it doesn't sound like it doesn't sound like an attachment. And honestly, I know it seems otherwise, but most implants are for our benefit. I know, like, that's not what you hear a lot. So I don't think that was an implant either, because whomever is on the other end of that implant, like my guide, my major galactic guide is a mantis being.
Okay.
And I can assure you, if somebody tried to mess with one of my, that would not happen.
Yeah.
But it sounds like that that uh, is likely a negative energy deposit.
Yeah.
And that is the kind of thing that, for example, medical mediums could really diagnose. Like, they
Okay.
can really do that. Like, but that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
And it sounds like the pattern that you experienced is so to a T, like when something is cleared, when something breaks, I call it an avalanche, like after coming through a dark night of the soul, I'll experience like an avalanche of all this new different stuff. And it sounds like she successfully did energetic surgery, which is a real thing. Barbara, what's her name?
Barbara Handclough.
If you no, but I love her.
Yeah.
There's a book called Hands of Light.
Okay.
Best book ever. You should read it. It sounds like she successfully dislodged this little, I don't know what to
Gray
call it,
thing.
like
Yeah.
dislodged this negative energy, like imprint, and then your avalanche kind of like from that clearing
Okay.
came in the form of like this week of like super clear dreams.
Yeah.
That's the pattern that I've seen. Like,
Yeah. I
yeah.
think I found the book here. It's called Hands of Light, A Guide to Healing Through the Human Energy Field, Barbara Ann Brennan.
Brennan,
Yeah.
yeah, she
And
is amazing.
okay. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. And it's funny because that question about that gray matter that was lodged in their head. I remember once going to a grocery store and somebody, and I mean, sometimes I sort of get too much and again, it was me trying to always help people. And the person was looking for something, and I said, "Oh, I know where that is. It's over there." And I think the guy just got very kind of like, I think it was with his wife or something like that, and I think he felt kind of
Freaked out.
upstaged by me trying to help them.
Yeah.
And he gave me a look. As I was turning, I could see that he was like, "What is she doing?" And I could literally feel a shard of glass, not real, obviously, but I could feel like almost like a knife in my back. Like literally
like kind of like a dart
a
or an
dart,
arrow.
but a dart that was sent in the back. And I remember going back to, it was on my lunch, and I went going back to work, and I was like, oh, I could literally feel it, like somebody had just stabbed me in the back, literally. And I called up a healer that I worked with, and I said, can you just check? Because I literally can feel it in my back.
Mhm.
And about a half an hour later, she calls back and she says, yeah, there was and I didn't tell her what it
Mhm.
was exactly. I didn't tell her the whole situation. So, but she said, yeah, there was a negative, a negative dart thrown at you, and it was lodged in your back because I had been turning as I was about to step out of the store, and this person was really angry so much so that the dart went flying. And if because I'm an empath, I totally felt it. You know what I mean? So it was literally a shard of glass, a dart that had to be pulled out, and I felt I could, and before she even called me, I could feel it being pulled out and being like, oh, like it was very strange. So you have to be careful, and that's what that whole thing about the evil eye, like you have to be careful because that stuff is real. The stuff is real. People can literally send you, that kind of negativity, and especially if you're an empath and you pick up on things, you pick up, like I picked up on it so quickly. Maybe for some people it'd go right through them, but not for me. I don't know.
This helps because there is a lot out there about empath protection, and I feel like that displays empaths as needing protection because they're weak in some sense, when actually it's the exact opposite. And what I do, and I think I chose to do this with Archangel Michael because he's like my teddy bear.
Yeah, he's the best.
But like I together I asked to be surrounded in a bubble of angelic reflective mesh, and that way I didn't have to buy into the whole like defense or offense or shield and sword, but like I know that I have this protective mesh around me at all times, and I bless it, a lot of times, like I'll just remember to bless it and strengthen it and cleanse it and stuff, but it's attuned to only allowing in the divinely aligned stuff that I'm divinely aligned to.
Okay.
And that's a way for any empath to kind of take care of their energy hygiene, and I think feel a little bit more empowered, which is appropriate. Like, who else on the planet but an empath can save someone's life with a smile? That's not somebody who's weak. That's like somebody with the skeleton key to our collective. I don't like it when empaths are, and also like we think that, like I grew up thinking like my emotions are terrifying. I like sealed them shut at a very young age because they're so big. So I just like to try to re-explain and re-shift to really being like, no, we are so powerful. It's just a matter of managing it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just that it was just sort of like I just responded to Kelly. She said the same thing. She says, I hate it because I'm always trying to help others and they sometimes don't like it. And you can feel their evil eyes or energy. And that's exactly what I felt. Thanks, Kelly. That's exactly what I felt. And it's just sort of like, gee, why are you so negative and so evil? What's happening? Anyways, so that's that. So I think that whatchamacallit there, my dear Watson was able to send the email through, so I think he got or she got their question through, so that's great. And then, so I think we can, and also Sue1111 says, believe it or not, I borrowed the book Hands of Light and it's sitting right in front of me. Thank you and love you
No
all.
way.
Yeah, I know. Thank you,
That's
Sue.
like my Bible. I'm like, oh my, she is so amazing. You have the book. That is synchronicity at its finest. Love
Okay.
it.
We have to definitely do a presentation on that one, on that book. So, moving right along, what's our next question for the evening?
Okay, this is a straight card question. Ruth from New York City. Who is the divine partner I'm meant to be with in this lifetime? And when, I love this, she
Mm-hmm.
worded it like, I love this. And when will we be in harmonious union? I'm like, I
Oh,
love
that's
you.
nice. I like
That,
that.
you know what I'm
I
saying?
like
Like,
it.
that's how I think of it
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's really beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
So, they gave me, um, they told me what to do. You're probably not gonna love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of those not direct answer things,
Mm-hmm.
but it is the answer. So just give me 1 second.
Sure, no problem. So while you're working on that, I just wanted to say, guys, if you're really enjoying the show this evening, please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. And also, don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter because we have a lot of interesting articles. We're getting our website together and we're going to be posting a lot of articles. I think we'll try to post more articles on some of the stuff that we're doing tonight and sort of go more in depth into it. So, really sign up for the newsletter and you can be on top of some of the activities we have coming up and some of the guests we have coming up as well. So hope you can take the time to do that. And we'll see how many questions we'll have. And maybe we can take a call or two a little later. So, and Kelly, you have the book too. Yeah, it looks, you know what? I think I'm going to have to get the book. I mean, I have so many books here. I don't even know where I'm going to put them all. But I'm also going to get the book as well. So, we're going to be doing that. How are you doing, Rogue? You're drawing a card?
Yeah, I'm looking at my spread.
Okay, great. And can you tell us what the question was and who it was for?
Yeah, it was Ruth Robinson,
Oh, from New
New
York
York
City.
City,
Okay.
and who is her divine partner? When will we be in harmonious union?
Okay.
And there's something you said I wanted to say. Oh yeah, if you are interested in buying Hands of Light, it is like this big.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge, honestly, like a textbook. I
Mm-hmm.
would highly recommend. Like this is what I did. eBay, like Abe's books. Like I would scour the internet to get a used copy
Okay.
because it's an expensive book,
Okay.
but still worth it.
Okay. Perfect. Anyway, guys, if you have some comments or I don't know if we wanted to yeah, if you have some comments, put them in the chat. We can read them and I know that Yogi is working on doing a spread right now for
Yeah.
Ruth. So we're almost there. And I really love a lot of the comments that were coming in tonight because we are
Yeah,
really working towards getting those answers out. So, Rogue, how are we doing?
we're good.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could see the comments. Okay.
Okay.
So, um, Ruth, I'm channeling for you now
Mm-hmm.
based on yeah, okay. There you still have some inner work to do around your esteem and self-worth. And in the blueprint of your journey, and this is your blueprint that you architected before coming down, you architected that you would go within and spend consistent time within, connecting with your higher self, and continually asking for guidance and then listening and staying in that receptive mode. And you will meet the soulmate you guys chose to spend your life together. Soulmate does not necessarily mean like a love thing. It could be a friend thing, but your architect, your blueprint is meant for you to do that inner kind of completion first, and then have a new foundation, like standing on totally different emotional ground. And then when you're emitting your energy after you've done that bit of healing and self unification, your transmissions, it's just a matter of time, because your soulmate is meant to respond to a certain frequency. And there's a little bit more healing you need to do within yourself to better unify yourself, which I totally get. Like some potential schisms within, to heal that, bring it all together, welcome it all home, be grounded and in harmonious union with your higher self. And that frequency, it will just be like a ticking clock, divine timing. Mm-hmm. But that's the frequency that your soulmate is attuned to.
Okay. Wow. That's really incredible. Would you recommend certain types of things that she could do? Like if she should read this book, or what kind of, healing modalities that she can do to further ahead? So, because I'm sure she's saying, well, I want to meet this guy now, and or meet this woman now, sorry. And how does she speed up the process? How does she get it going? And what tools does she have to put in her toolbox to get to where she wants to go? Like actual
There's a few
modalities.
things. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's the same for me too.
Yeah.
Just so you know, Ruth, like, just so you know, like, this is not uncommon, and we really, I mean, if you think about it, like, I really don't want to meet that person before I'm like, I know I have met certain issues and have healed them. You know what I mean? So, one, there's a two Miracle Grow speedy uppers that work blanketly for everything. I don't know what your beliefs are about a higher presence. If you believe or you don't believe. If you don't believe, my advice is to, I mean, to me, it's like there's always something to someone so glorious in nature. And like Mother Nature is so beyond our understanding. So like if you, let's say you didn't believe, to take that image and symbology of something amazing in nature and to spend time, not rigidly, do not beat yourself up about this, but to spend consistent time in traditional, quiet, not moving meditation, in which your intention that you just say, you just talk, pray like you would to your best friend, to really viscerally spark up that union with your higher self, to get that communication free flowing. To stay as best as possible in the receiving state, because all of the instruction or suggestions or guidance that you need to do this inner completion, I mean, your guides, your higher self, God, are like ready and willing to just like give you the silver platter. I mean, it would be one step at a time. But the guidance, the more specific guidance, is going to come from within. And so I would prioritize really actually creating a true relationship. And to be honest, like best friending your higher self so you can recognize her presence. You can start recognizing like yeses and nos and how that feels in your body. And have that familiarity, because it's through that relationship that your frequency that you're just emitting will change to match what your soulmate is like scanning for.
Okay. Wow.
And I know that sounds general, but like it, because it's general, it's not anything like enigmatic. It's like, no, spend some time in quiet and just straight up best friend your higher self.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us haven't really done that.
Okay. And would you say that because you put out some certain tools on how she could do that, but would you also say, because I also like the idea of the sort of talk pray as well, where you just sort of talk, you don't have to have some sort of elaborate sort of like Shakespearean sonnets type of a prayer. You can just sort of straight up talk with them like you're at a bar having a beer, and I mean, maybe not having a beer, but you know what I mean. It's just straightforward, and
Toilet.
but
I spent
also the
some of my
meditation too,
greatest
right?
things on the toilet. Oh no, yeah.
Meditation, yeah.
And the important aspect is that, setting your intention and maybe asking a question. Don't make it muddy. You know what I'm saying? Don't ask like a paragraph of questions and then sit there and listen. It'll be harder than it has to be. But you just want to spend time viscerally feeling the presence of your higher self and getting to know getting to familiarize yourself with what like her communications feel like or sound like or look like. And to start, I would start with being like, I really want to know you. Actually, like viscerally know you. I want you to steer the ship. You know way better than I do. And I would start with being like, can you, for example, just like right now, just inundate me with what does your yes feel, sound, look like? And then receive it. And then do the same thing for no. And really quickly, you've just stated, I want to best friend you and know you, and you will experience a differentiated yes and no. And that's a huge foundation to start working from.
Okay. That's great. Wow. We are getting so much information tonight. I just always, I find I'm always captivated when you talk, Silver. You're always so captivating, and I can literally feel the energy coming through. So thank you so much for that. So we want to get as many questions as we can tonight. So what's our next question, and who's our next runner up?
Okay. Okay. Lenore. Um, okay. Where's she? Narragansett.
Okay.
I think that's near like Martha's Vineyard, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But Leonard Shepherd in Narragansett.
Okay.
Um,
And the question this evening?
will I meet my soulmate in Massachusetts this year?
Interesting.
Okay. I'm gonna do it a different way.
Okay.
Okay, oh wait, let me get your picture here. Hold on. You're very beautiful. Okay. Your guides are telling me, and I'm gonna do something, but you are leading with like your yin, your femininity. You don't have trouble tapping into that side of yourself. And therefore, kind of intentionally switching gears to staying in a state of receptivity will go easily for you. So that they wanted me to share that with you. And back to the actual question. Okay. So the way I do it to ask yes or no questions, I did get a yes.
That she would meet her soulmate in
Soulmate in Massachusetts
Massachusetts.
here.
Do we have? I mean, I know I hate this question, but is there like a time frame, like in the summer? Maybe not like down to the wire, but like I mean, I don't know, summer, the fall. What are we looking at?
Um, I I doubt they're gonna do that. I'm just saying, like it
Yeah, yeah.
just but let me just see. Hmm. Okay, they actually just channeled to me. Because of your innate receptivity and comfortability with your femininity, it could be any time now.
Oh, okay,
Like, I mean,
okay.
and I don't mean to say that like, oh yeah, it's coming soon. They're just saying like, it could be anytime now.
Okay. Okay.
Like,
Because she did ask if it was going to be this year in
but yeah, no,
Massachusetts.
that's what I got
Yeah.
the yes for.
Okay. So it'll be this year in Massachusetts. So
Hmm?
whenever she's there, chances are she'll meet this person. Yeah.
I think she might live there, but yeah, it's
Okay.
I got like the I got like my yes. Yeah.
Okay. That's great. Wow. So very lucky lady. Thank you so much. All right. So let's pass on to the next. What do we got next?
Okay. So Rosa in Pittsburgh. Okay. Am I making the right decision in my career? And if not, what's the next step?
Did she specify if she was making a change, if she was asking like to apply for a new job? Was there anything, any details?
It just no, it was a little more general, just am I making the right decision in my career? Like, so I guess like right
Like right
now,
now where she's at. Okay.
something's like, it seems like something's, she is in the middle of
Doing
deciding
okay.
something right now.
Okay.
And if, is it
It's the right
the
thing to
right
do.
move? Or if it
Yeah.
isn't, what is,
Okay.
like, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, they do this sometimes. They give me equations. I think because I hate math, and so like I can't mess it up with any filters. Um, they're saying, what's the right word? Hold on, I'm trying to interpret this. Okay, so I'm getting like, this happens a lot. I get like a huge Lego block of emotion that I have to put into words. And I'm struggling with this first word, but okay, this is good. This is good. They like this. Okay. Um your equation is, and this is something to ask yourself about whatever is happening right now with your job. Is there two things? quality of life plus money. Preferably more money.
Okay.
And that's what they want you to self-reflect on and what they consider to be the like two anchors to best guide your decision making.
Would you say, I mean, obviously, unless she gives us a clearer indication, but would you say that, for example, in her job, she's making a lot of money, but she's not, because I knew someone who had this job and they were making all kind of money, but they said that the job was killing their soul. And like there was a
That
soul
will be a
killer.
big thumbs down.
You know what I mean? And I mean,
Yeah.
we don't know because Rosa wasn't very
No, yeah,
clear.
yeah.
But
But
I'm
quality
wondering
of life
if the quality of
is
life is
like
what you're talking about. You know?
that is the more primary directive to self-reflect on. And then obviously money needs to be sufficient, and obviously the more abundant the better.
Okay. Okay. Well, Rosa, if you are here tonight and you want to give us a little bit more detail, please go ahead and drop a line in the chat. But if not, we'll pass on to the next question.
Becca Berger, Decatur, Georgia. I haven't seen this one. Okay. Wait, are you a cook? That looks so good. Oh my God. Okay. Um, okay, so what medium should I be using to communicate messages? Art, writing? Question. I am trained as a visual artist, but I've always had jobs related to books and writing. Ooh, do you have an agent? Um,
Yeah. Why not?
Send me an email.
I know.
A few random people have told me I'm supposed to write a book, but this is funny, but I have no idea about what. This is funny, and it's very indicative of someone who has quite an array or a spectrum of interests and experiences and or knowledge. And so it's kind of like, well, like it's almost like an abundance, like a cornucopia, and you're like, well, can someone like tell me like which fruit to write about, like that.
Yeah.
um I'm a bit of a hermit and I've not achieved, oh God, I feel you. I'm a bit of a hermit. I've not achieved commercial success as a visual artist and painter, though I've always drawn and painted. Just need some direction on my soul purpose. One of my definitions of a soul purpose is also an equation, is heart sparkle plus helping. So you've already told me through your message that drawing and painting is a sole purpose for you. We do not just have one sole purpose. That would actually be wicked. Like, how are we supposed to find this one sole purpose in all of Earth and all of our experiences? We actually come down packing like a bunch of potential soul purposes. And there's some, flexibility in our journey as to which get activated. But no matter what you do in terms of, we'll call it, we'll say commercial success, your drawing and painting are, they're showing me a golden retriever, which to me, that's a symbol, like, to me, of like kind of just like a given forever loyalty that will always keep feeding you, nourishing you at the soul level. So they're saying, like, you can push to the side your painting and drawing, like, let them stay out of this, because they're in it and they're not going anywhere, and nor should they. Your painting and drawing is like a direct IV to your quality of life and your contentment and satisfaction. Now, as for commercial success, I need to draw a card. And then I'm just getting, it's like, hearing a layer of hesitance and this is not like kind of clouding, like murkiness, kind of just like,
Could it be a situation where somebody wants to do painting and drawing as a career, like they're saying, this is what I want, but the murkiness could be a situation where I'm not sure if I should quit my job, but no, okay, no, I should stay with my job. Okay, no, but I should do with my art. Okay, no, but I should, that sort of thing. Is that the kind of murkiness? Because I know there are a lot of people who want to do art, but they just don't do it because they're afraid. Well, am I going to
right.
make money? Can
And
I pay my rent?
well, in her case, her guides are like, your art is like a non-negotiable, like has nothing to do with anything, or it could have everything to do with everything. Like, you never know. Like, they're saying you could break through and you might not, but you're still going to draw and paint because it nourishes you
Okay.
in a way that nothing else does. And the murkiness about writing a potential book and the hesitancy, I mean, right away, just from your email, it's like I can feel that option is almost more like an intellectual exercise where you're like, I don't know, maybe, but like, I don't feel the commitment and loyalty and magnetism about that venture as I do to your art. I am going to draw a card though, and I don't know what it's about. So I just need 1 second because they do want me to draw a card, but they haven't told me about what yet.
What about the golden retriever? That was very interesting. I mean, a golden retriever. That seemed very comforting.
That
I wouldn't mind a golden
represented,
retriever.
yeah, the golden retriever represented her art. Like, it is a loyal, steadfast,
Oh,
like
it'll always be there for her, no?
yeah, exactly, like an outgoing, like, circuit of love. Like, I will always write,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what.
Mm.
Feeds me. It's, I have to do it.
Mm.
Um,
But we could draw a card, I think, right? We can see
no,
if.
we're doing that right now.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out what for. So,
Mm-hmm.
okay, hold on one second. Oh, okay.
Got a,
Okay.
got a message?
Yeah,
Okay.
no card. I was like, where's the question? They're offering the notion of your keeping your art as is. It is sacred. It is soul food. But they're saying, and I definitely can attest to this, the process of writing a book is a daunting and at best several year process. And if you're not like even sure, like, well, what book would I write? They're asking, well, can you break that down a little bit? And what are the options that you may have connections to or qualify for to find sufficient commercial success with other types of writing?
Okay. So she could, so it doesn't necessarily, for example, have to be like a writing like a big romance novel. It could be something else that she could write. But if she understands, like, I guess in a way, what what if she, like, sometimes if you ask yourself what's my passion, you're like, I don't know what my passion is, because if you sort of just ask it at a straight question. But I guess if you look and say, well, what is it that I do without even question, that kind of thing. If I say, well, do I like dogs? Maybe I write about dogs. Do I like art? Do I like travel? And I guess sort of just feel what resonates. And would that be a way
But
to?
there's quicker and more accessible opportunities for commercial success, you know, to write. Like, I don't know what your experience is like, but like technical writing and editing is, that's pretty well paid. Um, if you're, I mean, like, I feel that you're very, very creative. So something like copywriting, um,
Could she do something like her own blog or something, like some her own blog or something that she enjoys writing? Maybe
someone
that could be,
else's blog,
or somebody else's blog. Yeah.
get paid for it.
Okay.
If you can find, like, if there's like a company or something that you are like, yeah, I respect that company, get paid to write their blog and explore those kind of opportunities. Communications director type things. Oh, fundraising. Fundraising, they're saying. Developmental, or I'm sorry, development, like nonprofits. I've worked for nonprofits all my life. Um, there are so many different kinds of writing that need doing. There needs to be web content. There needs to be annual reports. There needs to be, and this is pretty easy to learn. Um, what are they called? Proposals for grants.
Okay. Yeah, that's
That's
great.
what's coming up.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, great. Well, I think that that's going to be really good, something for you to focus on. And I wish you the best of luck in that writing. That's great. So, what have we got coming up next? And you know, guys, I know we're answering a lot of questions, so I know we're going to be
Oh,
here for a while.
yeah, actually, I really have to hard stop at 10.
Oh,
I'm I'm so sorry. I can't, my sleep hygiene is
okay,
very tied to my health right now, which
okay.
is uh undergoing a blossoming of new issues. I'm really sorry about that. I did not realize it was 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
I feel like we've been on for like 40 minutes.
yeah, I know because we get caught up in it, and so I know that if people want their questions answered, you can answer back to them. But before we go, can we just have one quick question before we go? And I
Yeah.
know that it's Susan Johnson. I think she's in
Yes.
Florida.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, I need to answer
Yeah,
her.
answer her, and then for everybody else who's written in, and I think you have here Xenatron 7. I think she also wrote in, and a couple of other people have written in. So I just wanted to know you will be able to answer them by email. Silver, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, great.
totally. And I see. Wait, you said Zimba?
Xenatron 7. Maybe not their email,
Okay.
but they've
Yeah,
written
I
in.
don't.
They said that they wrote in. So I just wanted to just make sure that for people who have written in, that they'll get an answer a little bit in like the next day or so by email
They
from
will.
you. Okay, perfect.
No question.
Okay, great. So, guys, don't worry. You'll get your question answered. It's not going to be answered tonight
Yeah.
in live person, but you'll actually get like a more of a personal reading, so it's even better. But before
Yeah.
we go tonight, I just want to definitely answer Susan's question from Florida, and I think it's about her experiences. I think she's a contactee, and I think she has some sort of physical
Uh,
attributes on a certain side of her
mhm.
body and her back, and she wanted to know if that's a result of some of her experiences with alien contact.
Yeah. This is going to sound kind of boring, but first I want you to know that I absolutely do what you do. I mean, like, you know, and it can be very intense. It can be really, it can be unsettling. I know you have a, I know you have a solid tolerance for what you do, and that it is central to your identity. And I know that it brings you a great deal of pride, as it should. Um, so, and I really hope that you understand that, like, I get it. But what I would do, because like this is like, I don't know, am I okay to like read part of it a little bit?
Um,
Is that
well, I think what I'll do is I'll read because there's a bit of an aspect to it that might be a little bit
Okay.
So basically, the question she has is that she's from Miami and that she has red dots on her right side and her some red dots on her right side and of her chest and on the left lower abdomen and lower spine. And according to some of the work, but she's also reached out to us as well here. And according to some of her experiences, she has been an ongoing contactee with
Mhm.
different
Which
racial,
makes
with different ET groups, and she does a lot of work with them. And she wants to know she's has a lot of visitations because as you were saying before, sometimes the human time is not the same time as the time that's up there when you're with the different groups of races. And so she does have a tendency to go up there quite often and to work with these different groups. And she, I think in some ways, she's looking for confirmation that some people have implants, some people have swoop marks, some people have scars. And I think she's looking for a confirmation that some of the things that she's seeing on her body is as a result, is in her way proof that she's having these contacts, you know.
okay. Well, you kind of put a different frame on it.
Oh, maybe oh,
I
sorry.
no, no.
But
But
because you
what
have the
I
email, so you have the emails. But I think you
yeah.
just yeah.
But what I
Sorry.
want to say, like Susan, like you don't need a single red dot for proof. Like you're good. Like you don't like this is who you are. And it is what you do. You know, I know I've been going to the same, well, not anymore. I had been going to the same two ships my entire life, entire life. And what I would say is you absolutely know in your heart what you do is real. That is the purest proof that exists. And as for this symptom you're describing, and this is literally what I would do, I would go to the earth equivalent of someone who could tell me anything more about it. I would go see a dermatologist because it doesn't matter if it's a direct result from the work you do or not, but a 3D dermatologist can like kind of educate you a little bit more about what it is and how to get relief. And if your true question is God, I so understand, like, is this real? Like, am I like this is what I do? Like, it sounds crazy. Like, I have never lost the hunger for someone to just appear and be like, yeah, all of this is completely true because it's so insane. So, not to diminish this symptom, it's just that it doesn't even matter. The proof you need about your role and your purpose and how it impacts the collective for the better, that is in there. Like, even as I say this, like, and I could tell you guys things that will probably make some of you guys be like, I, I don't think so. Like, I do know I know, I know it's real. And yes, I know if I wasn't me, I wouldn't believe me.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just say thank you for what you've chosen to do. It's really demanding mentally. Um, it takes tremendous conviction and courage, and you do the shit out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Direct quote from your guides. You do the shit out of it. So this is like a side note. Just bring your body into a 3D dermatologist or doctor and just get a cream, like, you know, I don't know, check, have them check for an infection. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just like you're taking care of your spacesuit down here on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
It's just taking good care of your whole being.
Okay.
And your guides are actually standing in a line. Well, this is not like this, like,
So it's her crew in a way, I guess. And
she has a lot of guides.
a lot of guys.
She's, and that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone who is that deeply involved in this kind of
Mm.
interaction is
Yeah.
going to have a large protective team.
Okay.
Like, that's just goes without saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But they do want you and your spacesuit. They do want you to just like go to the doctor and get it checked out. It'll most likely, what I'm getting, end up in like some kind of like cream or something. But like I don't, but they're saying like,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. You
Well,
know,
because
if
it's her
there
body, I
it like
think.
if you do need an
Yeah.
antibiotic, like or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. Because it's her body. Does and
Right.
before we go, does the name Yisseron mean anything to you?
It's connected with Vega in any way.
Okay. I think because I've spoken with her, I think that Yisseron is the person that she works with. But
Really.
I think
Her
so.
main guide.
I think so. Just wondering. I was just sort of throwing it out there.
Okay, so what I'm getting, and I might not get the vocabulary right, but I can't even repeat the name. But that name,
Yisseron. Yeah.
Yisran, is a part of the Galactic Federation and has been the most hands-on with Susan's training.
Oh, wow. I think she's gonna love that one. I can
Yeah.
hear her squealing already.
And it's true, like, you get trained. Like,
Okay.
it's crazy. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, but there's definitely training. I think. Yeah, I know we're going to close it off now, but I think that because we've spoken with Susan before, I think there's a lot of training in what she's doing, and she's preparing for a mission. Like a lot of us, was there are a lot of people on planet Earth who are being trained in different ways with different
Yeah.
groups and in
Different ways. Yep.
different capacities. But it seems
Yes.
that because I'm familiar with some of the work that she does, that she's being
She's like
trained
militaristic.
military. It's very,
Do you
very
know what I'm saying? Like,
militaristic.
she's like trained like
Military. Militaristic.
military
Yeah.
style.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Comes with a lot. Like, the memories and the experiences and images, and it is a lot to hold calmly.
Yeah. She says here Archeron Cygnus, not Vega. That's kind of interesting. She says Archeron Cygnus,
Okay,
not Vega. Okay.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Okay. All right. Wow. Well, I think we had a really good night tonight. I'm sorry that we didn't get to everybody, but like I said, if your question was not answered live tonight, you will be
Mhm.
getting a personalized email from Silver, the Rogue Yogi. She'll be writing back to you and answering your question and giving you a much more personalized answer. So you're actually quite lucky. But I want to say thank you to everybody who sent in questions. And we had some interesting questions. We had the whole gambit. And it was so interesting. And I always love having Silver on the show because she's so riveting and it's so personal and it's coming from a place of love and light, and I really enjoy that. And so I'm really happy that she's always has the pleasure to come and to join us and to give you some enlightenment, to give enlightenment to some of our members. So I'm really blessed that we have her here with us tonight, and we've had her with her in the past. So keep an eye on your email if you've sent in a question, and you'll get an answer. Again, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe here on YouTube. It really helps the channel, and also visit Silver's channel as well. It's the Rogue Yogi, right?
Yogi official.
The Rogue Yogi official. So
Yeah,
give a
I would love that.
yeah, so give her a visit and check out some of her videos because she has a lot of what she's talking about tonight is already
Mm,
in a lot of the videos and in depth and in different types of questions and
yeah.
different types of topics. So you really will get a full library and access to her a lot of her knowledge and some of her insights. So I really suggest that you very highly that you check out her site here on YouTube. And again, guys, don't forget to sign up for our newsletter, please, because I really want to communicate with all of you and I want to create this community. And I think that having a newsletter will help bring us closer together with everything. So I want to just say thank you once again, wholeheartedly. Thank you so much, Silva, for coming tonight. I really, truly appreciate it. I know you give a lot of your energy, but I really appreciate you coming in tonight and answering questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I love this.
yeah.
Um, and I love what you're building. I really think it's going to become like a harbor for all of us
Yeah.
wanderers and seekers.
I'm
Um,
hoping. I'm hoping. I mean, I
that's a
don't usually
safe
ask
spot.
questions, but that's sort of what I'm hoping. And if I were to ask a question, that would have been my question is that I'm hoping that this will turn into something similar to the girl who was asking about, should she write a book or stuff like that. I'm hoping to leave my 9 to 5 at some point, not tomorrow, but I'm hoping that this will be my next
It's coming.
chapter in my life.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's a definite, it's coming. But I'm not the best one with divine timing
No,
because
no.
I'm like a toddler.
Yeah.
Like whatever it is, it's just not soon enough. But
Yeah.
you are like they keep showing me. I didn't tell you this, but like
Yeah.
throughout the night, they kept showing me a bike like a 10-speed bicycle wheel. How it has like so many freaking long spokes, and then the thing in the middle where they all like that they all night like throughout the questions. I've just been getting the bicycle wheel, and you are that point in the middle where all
Okay.
those spokes connect.
Wow. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you. Thank you. That's beautiful. And I love that because I want to do so much and I want to really take this to
Uh,
the next level. And I want to focus my attention just on this. Like I know again it takes time and you sort of have to work your way through it, and kind of like with the girl with the writing, start off with doing some types of writing or blog writing or stuff like that, and then maybe you can sort of move on to something else, but start somewhere. And the dream is there, and this is something that I do and I don't have to do it, but I do it because I love it. I'm not getting paid for it, but I do it because it's a passion and it's something that I feel that I have come to this earth to do because it flows naturally as opposed to other stuff that I've wanted to do,
and it's so
you know
helpful.
yeah.
I mean, you're really helping people. Like when I was little, I was like, if I have kids and they're like me, they are not going to be afraid.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like what you're doing
Yeah.
on a much wider platform.
Yeah.
Like you're making a safe space for all of us
Yeah, that's what I want.
who are like unsure, maybe feel like the oddball, maybe you've had some unexplainable experiences and you're creating this like cave of safety.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know, it's like the dream, you know, to be able to say this kind of stuff,
Yeah, it is.
understanding and, you know, appreciative people is like the biggest gift.
Thank you so much, Silver. And thank you so much, everybody, for being with us tonight. I absolutely and truly love you all. I love all of you. And I just want to say thank you to all of you who make this so worthwhile and make this just like a pleasure. Every week, it's a pleasure. And so I wanted to say thank you to everyone. So thank you again, Sil, for coming out with us tonight. Thank you for reaching out to our clients. Guys, check out her website, Rogue Yogi Official. Check it out on YouTube. And we will see you next week. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.